we have the opportunity to speak with not just any inspector that comes on. We're talking home inspectors. We have the president of ASHI, which is the American Society of Home Inspectors, and this guy is the president. This guy helps set the standards for home inspections. And we wanted to bring on this incredible guest because he's going to share with you some of the ins and outs of why it's important to work with someone that is associated with the American Society of Home Inspectors. We're talking home buyers and sellers and real estate professionals, because this guy, Marvin Goldstein, with American Society of Home Inspectors, is in the house with us today. Thank you for joining us today, Marvin.
Thank you very much. I look forward to sharing my thoughts with you all.
Very cool. Nice radio voice, Marvin. I like it.
We have a trend going with the radio thing, Don. I might replace you with most of our guests now.
Okay, good luck on that. Marvin, thank you for joining us today. I know you're a very busy man. I know you have I believe, a seminar going on tonight, correct?
Correct.
So you're always busy. So thank you for joining.
I'll just interrupt you a bit.
Yes.
We have over 80 chapters nationwide, so I get to travel a whole lot of them.
Wow. So that's all basically. Just so you know, if you just tuned in, we're speaking with Marvin Goldstein, the president of American Society of Home Inspectors, and he's going to share with us a little bit more about what ASHI is, meaning American Society of Home Inspectors, and what to look for in a home inspection, what to look for in a home inspector, and why it's important to not just buyers and buyers, because it's usually the buyers think it's just important for them, but you also, I know we're going to dive deep about why it's important to sellers and why it's important to real estate agents. But let's get a little bit more, Marvin, because I know as the president, and you've been instrumental in the development of what goes on in the home inspection industry for years now. I know ASHI's been around since, 1976, and has over 5,000 members?
Yeah, trying to make me look old now, huh?
Well, that's what Gino does to me every week, Marvin. He's still a puppy.
A big puppy,
I helped
though.
found ASHI in 1976, and we have over 5,000 members nationwide and over 85 chapters around the country.
So tell me a little bit about what ASHI is and why it's important to be ASHI certified.
Well, ASHI's the best. That's why. It's the oldest and most widely recognized nonprofit professional organization of home inspectors in North America. Its standards of practice and code of ethics really is the industry standard. California doesn't have licensing, but 30 states do, and most of the states that have licensing recognized ASHI's examination as the standard for their state inspectors as well, and have adopted many of our precepts in our code of ethics and standards of practice.
So tell me a little bit. So if I'm purchasing a home or selling a home, why do I need a home inspector? What's important about what you do?
Well, I guess if you don't want to go bankrupt or get divorced, it's a good idea to have a home inspection because a home inspector can keep you away from those things, because a home inspector can go out to two houses in the same neighborhood, both built at the same time. One may have a brand new roof and a brand new heating system or air conditioning system, and the other one, same size, same age, same builder, may need a new roof, may need a new heating system or a new electric service, may have major problems that might have been painted over. One of my favorite stories is I climbed out of an attic once, and I said, gee, your roof leaks, doesn't it? And the seller said, oh, no, we never had any roof leaks. And his 8-year-old son standing next to him said, oh, Daddy, yes, we did. Remember last week when the roof leaked? And he looked at him like, give me a break, kid.
So the kid finked on him.
Yep, his own son. Boy, oh, boy.
So, what I'm hearing and what I think is really interesting, it's and I'm not going to say it's an insurance policy, but it helps you.
It is.
It helps you evaluate what you're buying, right? Because the buyer is, let's say they work somewhere as an accountant or something of that nature. They don't know what construction's about, or what could possibly be wrong with a house. So it helps you evaluate what costs are going to be coming in the short-term and long-term future. Is that accurate?
Yeah, and it's good for sellers, too, because sellers may not be aware of problems. My favorite story there was I found a problem back in the days when the FHA was requiring certification inspections with a laundry tub, and I sat down with the sellers, and I said, gee, you know, your laundry tub leaks, and I'm sure you're aware of it. And the wife turned to the husband, I told you we should have fixed that a year ago. Now we got to fix that, and we won't even get the benefit of it. So it's good for sellers to be aware of the problems so that they can disclose those things to the buyers, and if they don't intend to do anything about it, then they'll get a clean offer.
That's a good point. And because I like that, because I know I've been in the industry for 25 years now, Marvin, and you always hear about that the buyers are the ones who are asking for a home inspection when they purchase a home. But you're suggesting that there is a huge advantage for a seller to basically have a home inspector come out, because there's a couple of angles, and maybe you can help me with this, and I know Gino, being a former real estate agent, I would imagine that there's two reasons. One, like you said, you want to be ahead of the game. You don't want to potentially lose an offer from somebody due to the fact that they find out there's issues potentially with the home. But also, I think it could be a disadvantage if the seller or the buyer does find out from a home inspector afterwards that there's some issues with the home. They're going to use that as leverage, are they not, in negotiating?
Absolutely.
See?
Yeah, that's where I was going with it. You see me nodding my head.
I know, you're like, give it to me, give it to me. So I didn't pass the baton, Gino. Gino wanted that one so bad.
Yeah, that's okay. But anyways, if you want to catch these things, you should check them out at www.donandgino.com. Just go to Listen Live. You can watch a catalog of all our shows. You can watch this show, in fact, and see. And remember, because, you know, you can't write everything down if you're driving, but it's really important that you have a great home inspector so you could save money. Either way, buyer or seller.
Marvin, we'll mention a couple times in the show because I think it's important. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, the best way to get a hold of a good inspector is go to ASHI.org. To get a hold of me, you go to mgoldstein@inspectpro.com. But to get a good inspector, you just go to ASHI.org, ASHI.org, and put in the zip code of the house you're buying or selling, and you'll get at least 10 ASHI certified inspectors listed for you to choose from.
So that's an advantage, obviously, for a real estate agent, I'd imagine, also. Working with an ASHI approved, basically, or certified home inspector, correct?
Sure. In some areas of the country, in fact, like St. Louis and some parts of Florida and other parts of the country, real estate agents only recommend ASHI inspectors, no other certification, because it is the only organization that is recognized by the National Organization of Certifying Agencies as a valid certification.
Well, we have to applaud you. We're going to get into more details about the home inspection process, but we have to applaud you before we go to break because you've been instrumental in setting up the standards for property inspectors nationwide, Marvin, which is, you should be applauded for that, because I know your goal is educating and helping and assisting to improve your industry, and you should be applauded for that.
Not only that, but you caught
don't
that.
applaud, just send money.
Oh, wow, he's a sharp one.
Yeah, he is.
But not only that, Don, the important thing is remember what he said. You won't go bankrupt and you won't get divorced.
That was my tease. You just, darn it. All right, Marvin. So what we want to do is when we come back, I want to go into a little bit more in depth some of the things that you guys actually inspect, what you look for, some things that we probably wouldn't even think about when a home inspector goes into a home, and how you do save them from potentially going bankrupt, potentially getting a divorce, because if they don't know what's going on in the home, guess who they're going to blame. So make sure you stay tuned with Don and Gino and Marvin Goldstein when we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.